You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. Come on, answer. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
And the devil is busy. Let me tell you, the devil is busy. Welcome, everybody. It's the Ron Kelly Show for another Thursday. It's October 27th, 2022. Thank you and welcome. And it's about 11 minutes past the hour. I'm telling you, the devil is busy. The devil is busy. The devil, I mean, I can't explain it any other way. The devil is busy because every week I got a problem with my radio show. Every week. So the devil is busy. So y'all pray and get that demon off my radio show. Because every week there's a problem. Every week I can't connect to Facebook. It's the only one. Twitter, no problem. LinkedIn, no problem. Twitter, LinkedIn, no problem. YouTube, no problem. But when it comes to Facebook, for some reason, you know, and I've been doing the show on StreamYard for a while, so I think I'm going to have to give StreamYard the boot and move on to another platform. Because every week I have to do the same thing. Every week I have to, you know, as I started out laying the show out at 6 o'clock. You know, and after an hour, I still was having trouble. So I'm going to have to give StreamYard the proverbial boot. And between now and next week, find another, because there's a lot of Restream. There's a lot of other places that I can broadcast a show from. So I think I'm going to try that because I'm just done. I'm done. I am done. Yeah, see, shout out to my brother, Bunny McKnight. Said, word, I had to go to your group page. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. This stuff doesn't make any sense. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your steadfastness and looking for me. Appreciate you, my brother. Bunny McKnight. Appreciate you, my brother. That's like the coolest name, Bunny McKnight. That's like a name you would hear like in the Mac or Chef's Big Score. Yo, that is like the coolest name, Bunny McKnight. Thank you, my brother. All right, everybody, it's about 13 minutes past the hour. I see the place is starting to light up a little bit. Thank you for the Facebook love, my brother. And thank you all for joining me. Shout out to Ronald McCready, my brother from the 4th grade. I don't believe that. Maybe he really didn't know who I was. Anyway. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. And hey, I put a shirt on this week as one of my listeners suggested. Love you, my brother. Love you, my brother, Bunny McKnight. I haven't seen him in a long time. I gotta cruise on over and check him out. So somebody said I didn't need to wear a shirt. I'm like, okay. And so I put the shirt on. I put the shirt on this week. So I got my shirt on. So anyway, I was supposed to have, I got a good show coming up for you tonight. And I'm going to talk about Ye and all the brouhaha and the stuff behind Ye. We're going to talk about that. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel, like I always do. Shout out to Suzanne Newman out there in Staten Island. Appreciate you and your indulgence for my nonsense every Thursday. In any case, it's the 27th of October, and, you know, it is nice outside. I mean, it's banging. It's very nice. I've been wearing a T-shirt when I go out. And so, yeah, so we're closing in on November, and it's still nice. I mean, it was like 70 degrees warm. You can feel the sun going off. But when it goes, it's gone. Let me tell you, when it goes, it's gone. Shout out to my listeners. Shout out to my new listeners. I understand I have a few of them out there. Appreciate you. And, you know, I just got so much work to do. I got so much work to do. As I'm sitting here like, now, how am I going to do this show tonight. In any case, I invited Montclair Councilman Peter Yacobellis to come on to the radio show today. I don't know if he's going to, because this is what happens. People agree to come on the radio show, and then they may listen to some of my more controversial broadcasts, and then they turn around a bit, especially the politicians. That's why I really don't have like politicians on my radio show or political folks. I don't really have them on my radio show because, you know, they will flip the script on you. I'm not saying Peter Yacobellis did, but they will flip the script on you. Shout out to American Porterfield, my sponsor. The American Porterfield Transportation is a minority-owned and operated full-service provider since 1980. That was 42 years ago. I wasn't even born yet. Anyway, provided transportation to hundreds of thousands of school kids, you know, you name it, the sporting events, medical. I believe they did it one time. I mean, you know, you need safe, reliable transportation. They can provide it for you. American Porterfield is a proud sponsor of the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. So I know, so some people contact me behind the scenes. Man, I know what you're going to say about yay. I'm not even sure how to say it, but yay, I'm going to talk about yay tonight. Let's just get down to the real nitty gritty. Let's call a spade, in other words. So let's break this down. And we're going to break this. I need some more lighting. Because I look like a black spot. Need more lighting. Anyway, so we're going to break this down. We're going to break this down about yay and who you can talk about and who you can't talk about. And there's a difference. Who you can talk about and who you can't talk about. Some people you just can't. You just can't. Some people. And y'all know who I'm talking about. And I'm going to get into it a little bit later on after the break. It's about 18 minutes past the hour. No sign of Peter Yacobellis. I mean, if he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I mean, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. But I do have a show lined up for you guys. It's 18 minutes past the hour. So what I'll do is we'll take a quickie break. Thank you, Bunny McKnight. We'll take a quick break and we'll come right back with more of this program. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com. And it's on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's on YouTube. And it's on LinkedIn. Oh, you got me. You got me. Okay, everybody, he's back. It's the Ron Kelly Show. I tried to dash you to the kitchen for a second. I guess y'all caught me out there. But anyway, welcome, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today on the Ron Kelly Show. It's Thursday. It's October 27th already, 2022. And there's so much going on right now in the world. You know, you got wars and rumors of war. I mean, there's so much going on right now because you got us and you got the Russians. Then you got the South Koreans and the North Koreans. Then you got the Chinese and the Taiwanese. And there's so much. There's so much going on in the world today. So many fights about to break out. Hopefully not You got the Russians and the Ukrainians, and we're right in the middle of that. And we're right in the middle of everything. The United States of America is right in the middle of everything. We got our hands on everything. And I'll talk about that on a different show about should we have our hands in everything. Anyway, I invited Montclair Councilman Peter Yacobellis to come in and do the radio show, but I have not seen him yet. So if he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I did invite him to come on to the radio show because I just had a couple questions that I wanted to ask him, since I do live in Montclair and some of my listeners live in Montclair as well. And I had a few questions I wanted to ask him, but I'm going to just consider him a no-show. But if he does try to get in, maybe we'll let him in, maybe. Okay. Checking in and out. So Lamont Gates checking in and out, doing a show interview in 5 minutes. Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Lamont Gates. Lamont Gates is the host of Near-Death Experience. Near-Death Experience. So it's near-death experience. All right, so we will see, what happens in about, because I got a show lined up for you, because you have to. I mean, I learned a long time ago. People come and people go. Sometimes people show up. Sometimes they don't show up. And so I've learned over the years to just have something else lined up in case the person doesn't show up, because it does happen, occasionally. Anyway, shout out to Lamont Gates, checking in and out, doing a show interview in 5 minutes. Okay, Lamont Gates, thank you for checking in with me on a Thursday, October 27th, 2022. So what's the story with Ye? What's the story with Ye? Ye. And why is Ye getting the treatment that he's getting? I mean, he's being treated like a child molester. They treated him like the worst criminal that there could be. This is the way that the man has been treated thus far since he made his comments. But you have to remember, we all have to remember that there's some people you can talk about, and then there's some other people you cannot talk about. Okay. Some people you just can't talk about. Some people are so powerful that you can't talk about them. And it's not us, because we're way in the back behind the LGBT community. We're way in the back behind the LGBT community. You see, because the community has surpassed Black folks. And that's not to say that it's a race or anything like that, but they've surpassed African Americans. The LGBT community, it used to be Q, I believe. It's not Q anymore, but the LGBT community has zoomed past the African American community. You remember 1979, we were, McFadden and Whitehead came out with the song, Ain't No Stopping Us Now. I can't play it because they'll cut me off in 200 and some countries if I do. They have to get permission first to do these things. And so, there's so many instances when we thought we were on our way. Black folks, we are on our way. There were so many instances where we thought we were on our way. And when this song came out, because we kind of float with the songs, and this song came out, Ain't No Stopping Us Now, ain't no stopping, and everybody was bouncing around, and all Black folks were bouncing around, we were singing that song. Ain't no stopping us now. That was 1979. 1979. That was 40 something years ago, 43 years ago, 44 years ago, whatever. That we were singing that song, Ain't No Stopping Us Now. And I'm like, well, what stopped us? Because we still are treated like second-class citizens in a lot of ways in the United States of America. Because you look at what happens to black folks, and I'm going to get to Ye. I'm going to warm you up. I'm going to get to Ye and what he did and why he's being treated the way he's being treated. I'm going to get to that, because Ye can hang out with Minister Louis Farrakhan now, because Ye is probably hated as much as Minister Louis Farrakhan these days. Because he's probably hated as much as Minister Farrakhan is right now. Because back in the day, Arsenio Hall put Minister Farrakhan on his television show. And after that, Arsenio Hall was invisible. So you remember that when Arsenio Hall had his show. Arsenio Hall had a good show. It was going on for a few years. Late night, black man. But he made the fatal mistake of putting Minister Farrakhan on his TV show. Because right after he put Minister Farrakhan on a TV show, it got canceled. Even though, in the interview, Minister Farrakhan didn't really say anything wrong, like he says in his blazing speeches that he gives out there in Chicago. So he didn't really say anything wrong, but just the idea of Minister Farrakhan coming on the network radio TV show. And what happened was he left. Went after Minister Farrakhan went on the show was canceled. That was the end of that. So Ye kind of did the same thing. Before I go any further, I need to tell you guys that the views and opinions expressed here are exclusively those of myself and R. Kelly Media Enterprises, LLC, which is the parent company of the Ron Kelly Show, and are not those of my advertisers or my support team. Okay, there you go. Got to get the legalities out of the way. So Ye was. I asked the question earlier this week: was everybody who out there? Because there's a lot of y'all out there that really support Ye. There's a lot of y'all out there, But if you work in a McDonald's, you ain't got to worry about your opinion hurting you, And there's a lot of y'all out there who believe that Ye was right, or Ye. There's a lot of y'all that believe that Ye was right in what he said about Jewish folks. But you'll never say, But I'm going to tell you what I think in just a few minutes. I'm going to tell you what I think. It's 29 minutes past the hour. I'm going to tell you what I think. You see, because there's people you can talk about, and there's people that you can't talk about. Like when for example, Roseanne Barr. That's a very popular program, Roseanne on ABC, American Broadcasting Network. And Roseanne was taken off the show. She said something about Michelle Obama. Something, ape, she looks like an ape or whatever, they were running that around for a few years. And so she lost her place on the show, Roseanne Barr. So she lost her show. And they changed it to the name to The Conners. But the show still airs. She's just not in it. And the show airs in reruns all over the place with her in it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when you talk about the Jewish people, when you talk about the Jews, you're taking a chance. If you talk about, see, because the Jews are very powerful, and not to say anything bad about them, not to say that they're, you know, that they're corrupt or anything like that, but the Jews have X amount of influence in the United States of America. The LGBTQ community has X amount of in the United States of America. And black folks miss the boat because we don't have any influence in the United States of America. Because you see what happens when a black person gets killed by the police, for example, he goes on paid leave. Oh, I could do something wrong and they send me home and tell me they're going to pay me every week. Okay, no problem. I wish. Let me do something wrong and you send me home and I can stay home and I can still get paid. Oh, sure. Would love to. See, because some people that you can mess with and some people you can't mess with. So you can get away with messing with black folks. You know, the councilwoman from Los Angeles. Matter of fact, she was the president of the city council. Now, I believe that she did step down. She did step down, but you don't see anybody running for the hills. You don't see people running away from her. This woman, she was let me see if I can pull her up really quick. Right. Yeah. So she stepped down. Nuri Martinez stepped down from her position as a city council president. It's a very powerful position in Los Angeles, which is the second largest city in the United States of America. So it's a very, very prestigious position. Now, this LA City Council, now this lady talked about a fellow council person who had adopted a little black kid. And she made an observation and she said the kid was acting crazy. Let me take him around the corner, called him a little monkey, but she said it in Spanish, thinking that nobody would understand what she said. Little monkey, she calls him. She said he was an accessory, like a pocketbook or a pair of shoes for that councilman, who was gay and had adopted this kid, who probably would be living in a foster home if it were not for, well, he is living in a foster home, but it's a little bit better than the group home. So she said this stuff, and it was recorded, and you can clearly hear it. She said this stuff. And she stepped down from the council at first. She stepped down from her leadership position at first. And then the noise got so bad that she finally did step down. But they didn't take her down. She stepped down. They told her she should step down. And that's the difference between, some people you can talk about and some people you can't talk about. And so, and she was on the phone with two other council people. So the city council censures Nuri Martinez and the other two councilmen she was talking to, Gil Cedillo and Kevin De Leon. But that's all that happened. They still have their jobs. And what they said was clearly racist. Very racist, what they both said. And yeah, they were both, what they said was very racist. But they're still there. Still had jobs, still there. Oh, wow, did I? Let me see. Okay, Peter Yacobellis is reaching out to me. Now, I don't know if I told him this week or next week. The 3rd. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, he's right. Peter Yacobellis is right. Peter Yacobellis is right. Let me just respond to him. Okay. So even though the LA Council, they were Hispanic, the LA Council people said some pretty cruel things about this little kid. And the LA Council president says she's going to take the kid in the back and give him a knuckle sandwich, little monkey, and said all kinds of derogatory comments about this councilman who was gay and his black adopted son. So what happened? Nothing. She did step down from the council, but she did that on her own because the council, they couldn't do anything about her. So she stepped down voluntarily. Now, the other 2 councilmen she was on the phone with are still on the council, hoping this thing's going to blow away. But you can talk about black folks. And I'm not comparing black folks to Jews or anything like that, but you can talk about black folks. You can get away with talking about black folks. You can. Unfortunately, you can get away with talking about black people. You can get away with killing black people, as the police have done so many times over the last few years. Hey, go home, we'll pay you every week. Okay, you let the trial last for a year or 2. I can just chill out and get paid. So my point is that you some people you can talk about. There's some people you can talk about, make fun of, make misogynistic and racist remarks about, and then there's some people that you can't. Some people that you can't. And that's the way it is. There's people you can talk about. There's people that you cannot talk about. And the Jewish people are somebody that you really can't talk about. And no matter how powerful you are. And I would say that Ye is a pretty powerful dude. But even with his power, when he clashed with the Clash of the Titans, the Jews won. And I'm not saying that the Jews are corrupt or they're bad or, they got everything locked down. And I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is some people you can mess with and there's some people that you can't mess with. So it's 20 minutes before the hour. We'll take a quick break, come right back with more of this program. This is the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com. In addition to that, it's on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube, and the newly acquired Elon Musk what did he want with Twitter? Elon Musk with Twitter. Back in a second.
The United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the 8th, the young man who has become a legend of his own time. Come on, answer. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Yes, we are back. It's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com, simulcast rather, and of course, it's on Facebook Live, it's on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube, and it's on Twitter. And somebody, we're about to break away from all of this stuff. So you see, a friend of mine said, "Be careful, my brother." Thank you, bro. And see, that's the fear. That's the fear that that has been adopted by our people when it comes to certain people. Now, I'm not saying that the Jews have done anything wrong. I'm not saying that they, I'm not saying anything bad about the Jews, about Jewish folk. See, but you can talk about Asians and get away with it. You can talk about Native Americans and get away with it. You can talk about black folks and get away with it. You can talk about Indians or Native Americans, Mexicans, Venezuela. You can talk about those people and get away with it. Nobody's going to say anything because they don't have any power. And this is just the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. This is the bottom line. There are some people you can talk about, and there's some people you can't talk about. Now, I'm not saying that the Jews have people in fear, but what I'm saying is when you have your stuff together, like black folks don't have our stuff together, and when you have your stuff together, you can use your power collectively to quash what may come up, other things. So, and see, so this is, shout out to my boy Dex, says, be careful. And see, that's the fear. And not saying that the Jewish people have invoked this fear. I'm not saying that they're going around like telling people, you better keep your mouth shut. No, they're not saying that. But see, because what ye did was really offensive. What ye did was offensive. Going to DEFCON 3 and all this stuff. Biden never slips and say that, we're all dead. And so what ye did, because what I'm saying right now is not offensive, because I thought about this all week. Let me tell you, I thought about this. I don't want my show to get canceled. And I don't want my advertisers to pull back and not advertise on my radio show. And the potential advertisers are the ones that are coming along. So what ye did was offensive. That's the first thing. It was offensive. And again, there's people that you just can't talk about. There are people in the United States with, because like I said, there's other people you can talk about. You can talk about the Mexicans. Oh, so what? When Trump was sliding down his golden staircase 6 years ago, the first thing he did was attack the Mexicans. Oh, they're child molesters, they're killers, they're rapists, they're the worst scum of the earth. He referred to the Mexicans as. No, nobody said Mexicans, you didn't hear from the Mexicans. They didn't even come back and say, whoa, we don't like that. You didn't hear from them. You didn't even hear from the Mexicans. When Trump did his thing with the golden staircase, the golden, whatever you call it, he's glided down the golden escalator with Melania about 3 feet back. And he said the worst things he could say about the Mexicans. The worst things he could say, he said about the Mexicans. But the Mexicans didn't even say anything. They like, just let us in. They were like, just let us in. We don't care what you say about us. Just let us in. We hungry, And they let, because they didn't really care. And so, and black folks are kind of in the same category. You can talk about us. Hey, I don't care. People are not going to be, because I remember Trump, for example, one of his rallies. I believe he was running for president at that time, 2015, 2016. And he notices a black man in the audience. And he goes, look at my African-American. Now, look at my African-American. As if to say that he owned the man. And people voted for him anyway. You see, when Trump was running for president, and now this idiot, Herschel Walker, well, I don't want to call him idiot, but is running for the Senate. Now, when I can't even say it. So when Trump was running for president, there were women coming out of the woodwork. When Trump was running for president, he raped me. He did this. He did that. You heard him on the bus on the recording. I just grabbed him by the pussy, he says. All of these things Trump was saying, people voted for him anyway. He said, I could stand on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody in the head and they'll still vote for me. He was 100% right. And he's been getting away with it, mocking handicapped people. You name it, he's done everything. And he's gotten away with it. He got away with it because those people who he talked about don't have, because let's call it what it is. It's power. It's power. Black folks can have that kind of power, but we are too busy trying to keep up with each other. And then you had Aaron Donald in the star edge rusher for the Los Angeles Rams, and Jaylen Brown, who is a forward, a star with the Boston Celtics, bailing on Ye Donda Sports. Bailing. Just like, we can't mess with you. And I'm like, really? I mean, really? Really? Now, is it that Ye was, or, I mean, why? I mean, there's a lot of anger. And it seems like, it seems like a higher level of anger than there is when something happens to an African-American or somebody in the black community, I mean, you can't, they set the table, so to speak. And it seems like when you're talking about black folks, you get away with talking about black folks. How many black men got killed after George Floyd? A whole lot of them. And they're still getting killed today. They stopped for a minute. The one man went to jail. And there's people that are still saying that George Floyd had fentanyl in his body, in his system, and that's why he died. He didn't die from the knee that was pressed on his neck for 3 hours. He died from fentanyl. This is what's being said. It's 21. Actually, it's 10 minutes before the hour. Yeah, this is what people are saying. So, I'm not saying that the Jews have extraordinary power or that they're oppressive or they're trying to, or they are get preferential treatment more than anybody else. What I'm saying is that black people, we don't have, I mean, even like the Japanese, for example, when the Japanese decided they were going to try to destroy the United States of America, lost pitifully, by the way. But when they decided that they were gonna attack the United States of America, I don't know who, Hirohito, I guess, was the person behind that, and they got destroyed. I mean, they killed 3,000 people at Pearl Harbor, but they got destroyed. So when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, the United States of America decided that they were going to inter. That's what they called it. Inter. It meant locked up, but they interred the Japanese people who lived in the United States of America. Put them all in jail. We can't trust them. They might be over here behind scenes causing trouble. So we got to lock the Japanese up, which they did. United States of America locked up as many Japanese people as they can find. I'm pretty sure there was some of them hiding. They didn't catch them all, but they caught as many as they could, and they interred them, they called it. So when the war was over, after United States of America, the fruited plane dropped 2 bombs on Japan. That was the end of that. And the Japanese people who got interred were paid for their trouble. They were paid for their trouble. Okay, here you go. Here's $20K, $25K, I believe it was, a piece. A piece. That was a lot of money back then. And there's a lot of money now. And a piece. The Japanese were paid. The Japanese were paid after the war was over, because after the 2 bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it was a wrap, because there was no other. That was the very first nuclear weapon. It's funny, the United States was the first country to use a nuclear weapon. The United States was the first country, I'll say it again, the United States of America was the first country to use atomic, at the time, that's what they called it, weaponry, nuclear bombs. So shout out to Dex Nemhard, Nemrod, Lamont Gates, Bunny McKnight, my brother. Shout out to Suzanne Newman. Shout out to Ronald McCready and Sharon Allen. Well, she's not Allen anymore. And some of the people who used to listen to my show back in the day, I guess, well, Sharon Allen straightened me out and told me that maybe, she says that the schedule changed. I'm like, okay, I'll accept that. 6 minutes before the hour. So yeah. So no, I mean, I'm not saying that. I know I'm probably going to hear some things, because people on my job listen to the show too, as well as people all around the country, America lovers all around the United States of America listen to the Ron Kelly Show. And yeah, and so no, I'm not saying that the Jews going around threatening or doing anything like that. I'm not saying that. Because I thought about this show all week. I thought about this show all week and about what I was going to say, and in my notes, and I looked over everything once, I looked over it twice. And it's not to say that, you have to understand that some people have more power than others. I mean, that's just it. Some people have more power than others. Like I said, when he talked about the Mexicans, they didn't even complain. They was just like, just let us in, open it, let us through so we can get some food and a place to stay. They didn't even care what Trump said. And there's a lot of other ethnic groups who get slammed. The Venezuelans, they're not even letting the Venezuelans in the country. You see the news clips of people crossing the border, but they're not letting the Venezuelans come in. So now Venezuelans are like, they're like persona non grata. You can't come in here. Bunny McKnight says that's what long money does. And then and even my friends coming on a radio show and warning me of what to say and what not to say. And I've gotten a whole bunch of text messages and people saying, hey, Ron, watch it. I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say I agreed with Ye. I didn't say he was right in what he said. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. He thought he was right, then, that was what he thought. But a lot of y'all agree with Ye. You would never say it, but a lot of y'all agree with Ye. What is it? Ye, 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 Yang, whatever. A lot of y'all agree with Ye. A lot of y'all agree with Ye. A lot of y'all agree with what he said about Jewish people. See, but like Bunny McKnight says, the long way, but power. I mean, America is based on this stuff, on finances and power and money, because the richest people back in the day, you had the Rockefellers and the J. Paul Gettys and all these people who the railroad millionaires and billionaires, the people who had money. And those are the people who control the country. America is no different now than it was 200 years ago. And here in the United States of America, the people who have money really basically control the company. Now, I'm not going to talk about the Illuminati or anything like that because I don't know anything about the Illuminati. But America is the reason why America has advanced to the point it's advanced to in only 200 and something years compared to some of these other countries, Britain and France and Russia and China. The United States is number one in everything. And the reason why it is because of money. The United States of America has the number one economy. It has the best credit of any country in the world. The United States of America is just like doing its thing after only being in existence for a short period of time. You know why that is? Money. It's money. And unfortunately, that's the way it is in America. The people with money control. The people with money get a seat at the table. The people with money get attended to. The people with money get the attention. That's the way it is in America. Now, I'm not saying that the Jews have the most money. Somebody else said that. My brother, Bunny McKnight, says that they control the world. Lamont Gates says, what did I miss? Just check it out, Lamont Gates. United States of America is based on capital, on cash, on money. And that's why the United States of America is the greatest country financially, technologically, you name it, except for educationally. We're like 20th because our kids are crazy. But yeah. So, and that's the way it is. People with money have power in the United States of America. That's just the way it is. Lamont Gates says that the worst country spiritually, I assume he's talking about the United States of America. But yeah, so, and so I appreciate you, my brother, who I, regularly smoke with at the cigar bar, for warning me about talking about the Jews, talking about Jewish people. And I'm not talking about Jewish people. I mean, they doing what they do. We do you. We not doing what we supposed to be doing. So do us. I mean, but hey, like I said, they're doing what they're doing. So the bottom line is, because people like to paint a pretty picture of the United States of America. Patriotism and all of this stuff. It's, the flag, the dollar bill, money is what rules the United States of America. Money. MONEY. It controls the United States of America. And whoever's got the most money, and we know it's not the Mexicans, whoever's got the most money has the most power. And that's just it. I mean, I'm not saying nothing bad. I love America. This is my country. You know, I was born here. I was raised here. My family was born here and raised here. This is my country. But the grim reality is that the United States of America runs on green. Not fuel, not gas, not diesel, green. Anyway, it's not 8 minutes before the hour. It's not 8 minutes before the hour. It's 1 minute after the hour. I'm going to be on for just a couple more minutes because I did start late because the demons are on me. But yeah. So the midterms are coming up next week, everybody. In a couple of weeks, the midterms. And if you haven't been paying attention to the midterms, I feel sorry because when Herschel Walker wins, when John Fetterman loses, when Oz beats him, Senator Menendez is under indictment again or under investigation again. I mean, the Republicans are going to come in and they're going to take over the United States of America. And guess what? They're going to cancel everything, just like they did with Barack Obama. They're going to cancel everything that Joe Biden has done. It's going to be a wrap. They're going to cancel everything that Joe Biden has done. And we're going to be back under the control of the Republicans. And the other thing too, now you got like local politicians, like in this area, Passaic County, for example, is all supposed to be Democrats. Now, is the poor approval rating from Biden, is that going to hurt local Democrats? I believe it is. I believe that maybe the Sheriff Burnick, might lose to, I don't really believe it, but I think the sheriff, right, to Mason Maher, who's running for sheriff, might lose. He might lose. So do I think that the poor showing, the poor performance of the Democrats is going to hurt local Democrats? Yeah, I do think so. I do think so. Yeah. So, I believe that there's going to be some problems in the next couple of weeks because we got the midterms coming up, and then Biden is going to be locked down for 2 years, just like Barack Obama. Barack Obama, the current Attorney General, was nominated by Barack Obama to become the Supreme Court justice. And the Republicans, because they ran the Senate, and if they don't take it to the Senate floor, or if they don't put it in committee, whatever it is that they do, if they don't take a look at it, or if they don't let the bill go forward for a vote, it's not going to happen. So what happened was when Barack Obama presented this gentleman who is the current, Attorney General, Republicans said no. It was like, no, you ain't, no. And Barack Obama had more than a year left in his term, and they still said no. And then when the clock was running out on this clown, Trump, he was able to get 2 or 3 people. Amy Coney Barrett. I think Trump had 30 days left in his presidency. Amy Coney Barrett slid right through because the Mitch McConnell and the Republicans planned to stop Barack Obama from doing anything, because he wasn't supposed to get a second term. Because Mitch McConnell said that our biggest job is to not allow Barack Obama another term, and he got another term anyway. Yeah, but yeah, the midterms are coming, so there's nothing going on in New Jersey. I don't believe nothing of circumstance anyway. Nothing going on here. Nothing to see here. There's no dangers, but but down in Georgia, it's 4 minutes to the end of the show. Down in Georgia, the battle between Herschel Walker, Raphael Warnock is at a fever pitch right now, and everybody believes that that's going to be the race that decides the balance of power in the United States Senate. And then you got Mehmet Oz. Remember Dr. Oz? Dr. Oz from TV. Dr. Oz. He's running against John Fetterman, who is the lieutenant governor of the state of Pennsylvania, the guy who had a stroke recently. So there's some key races, there's some key races. New York, Lee Zeldin, and the lady, Kathy Hochul. That was supposed to be a blowout, but Lee Zeldin, a Republican, is closing in on Kathy Hochul. Now because the Democrats appear to have screwed everything up so bad that I think that the president is at 47%, something like that, approval rating, which is horrible. And the reason why that is because gas, the pocketbook issues, gas, food, stuff that affects people in their everyday lives. It's like right here. It's up front. When you get in your car, you look to see how much gas in it. When you look in your refrigerator, you look to see how much food. So this is something that's in your face like all the time, every day, constantly. If you drive for a living, you're outside and you're looking at these gas signs and you just, it's in your face all the time. So that's why this is so important. So thank you, Bunny McKnight. Yeah, that's why this is so important, because it's in your face all the time. What you eat, the bread is more expensive, the milk is more expensive, cereal, you name it, everything is up. Everything is up. It's in your face all the time. Gas prices. It's just and you can't slip it under the rug or try to forget about it. Bunny McKnight says exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's in your face all the time. So there's going to be some big losses on the Democratic side. There's going to be some big losses. Some surprises, some shockers. Maybe especially chicken wings. We love wings. Yeah, I didn't notice that the chicken wings. Bunny McKnight says, especially chicken wings, the prices, and we love wings. I didn't notice that the chicken wing prices went up. I just buy them. I don't even really think about how much they cost. But yeah, gas is off the chain. I gotta go get gas tomorrow. Off the chain, off the meter. But yeah. All right, everybody. It's about 25 seconds before the. Actually, it's a couple seconds before 8:10. The show is supposed to end. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining me. And don't be talking about I was talking about the Jews either, because that's a lie. I didn't talk about the Jews. I just tried to give some. So to clear the air with this thing, because I don't really believe that Kanye West is anti-Semitic. I don't believe that. I don't believe Kanye is an anti-Semite. I don't believe that. Now, I'm not saying he's right. I'm not rubber stamping what he said. No. but I don't think that he said what he said with the intention of causing harm to anybody. I don't think and I know you're like, Ron, really? I don't think he said what he said to be, I mean, it's unfortunate the way he expressed himself because he shouldn't have said it like that. But I don't think that his intentions were malicious. I don't believe that. I'll say that much. I don't believe that his intentions were malicious. I believe he just unfortunately, like I said, sometimes you got to watch what you say. And he didn't watch what he say. And now he's floating around. Nobody wants to be with him. So Bunny McKnight says Kardashian curse because everybody who dates a Kardashian winds up in the Hudson River. Okay, I'm a minute and 30 seconds over. So I want to thank everybody for listening to me tonight with the Ron Kelly Show. I appreciate you. There was a lot of people on tonight. Thank you. LinkedIn. The LinkedIn audience is growing by leaps and bounds. I appreciate you. Facebook, YouTube. I also checked today, and it's looking pretty good. And Twitter. No, Twitter. I'm never going to be popular on Twitter, but so I accept that. So anyway, everybody, you have a great week. We'll see you back here next week. Montclair Councilman Peter Yacobellis will be here. Peter Yacobellis. I have some questions for Peter, and folks who live in Montclair approached me about having Peter Yacobellis on the show because people know that R. Kelly tells the truth. Ron tells the truth, I should say. People know that. They know that I'm going to get to the bottom of whatever it is, no matter what the cost. All right, everybody, we're going to break out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. It's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds past the hour, or past the time I should be on the radio show. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Bunny McKnight, Lamont Gates, shout out to Susan Newman, who listens to the show every now and again. Ronald McCready, who I didn't see tonight, but thank you, Brother Dex Nemerd. And and all the folks who listen to the Ron Kelly Show. I can't see everybody, unfortunately. And Lamont Gates as well. Thank you all for Valerie Banks Jones. Thank you, Valerie Banks Jones. We're gonna find out who she is. Valerie Banks Jones with the thumbs up. Thank you, Valerie Banks Jones. Appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you back here next Thursday. It'll be November. Next Thursday will be November for the so we'll see you back here next week. It's November 3rd. Peter Yacobellis, Montclair Councilman Peter Yacobellis will be here with us next Thursday, November 3rd. The time is just flying past. So everybody, make sure you say a prayer for the world. And remember that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice, and that we may not have it all together, but together we can have it all. It's hard to talk for a whole hour to myself. Anyway, thank you so much. And I think